Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Um, um, Welcome, all of you. Welcome. I hope you've been having a good week so far. And we're middle of the week right now. It's Wednesday morning. And I hope that today's going to be a great day for you. So today we're going to be looking at content marketing. My name is Carol Allen, and I'm going to be your host on this webinar for this morning. So we've got quite a lot to cover. It's a 3-hour webinar. 3 hours sounds a long time, but I can assure you that it goes very, very quickly. And, we're going to be looking at quite a lot to do with content marketing this morning. We're going to be looking at how content marketing can be very impactful for your business. So, I want to give you as much tangible information today that you can actually apply to your business and run with it today. So let me know in the chat where you're at in your business. Are you a pre-start, or have you already started the business over the last few months, or are you an established business? Just let me know where you are. You can pop that in the chat. I want you guys to be really engaged today because we've got some juicy, meaty bits of information to deliver. And I know that it's going to be fundamental to your business, regardless of where you are in your business. But I just want to make sure that I pitch this particular webinar at the level where you are right now and speak to that area of where you're starting off from. Right, so I don't know whether or not I'm going to pronounce this name correctly. I hope that I will. Is it CN? Is it a silent P? Or have I pronounced it incorrectly? Let me know. So CN says she's, or he, I don't know, is a startup business. Rachel said, I've started up in the last few months. Congratulations for starting up, and congratulations to you as well for starting as well, CN. Sue Ellen says, relaunch of business closed in 2:15. Congratulations for relaunching, Sue. Right, okay, so it's a silent P, okay. So, okay, thank you for confirming that, CN. Dima said, started one, maybe one more soon. Right, okay, so you've started one already, Dima, and you're going to start another one. So let me know what you are selling. What is the nature of your business? What are you selling in your business? Are you an e-commerce business selling what? Are you a digital business selling what? Or are you a informational business, and what are you selling? Let me know. So Sarah is a garden design and landscaper. That's great. And Sue Ellen is telemarketing agency. Is that where you call people directly, Sue Ellen? Telemarketing, is that what it is? CN says, I'm trying to sell clothes I make myself on TikTok. Interesting. Becky says, youth charity, selling training and advice and support. Okay. So is that two different businesses, Becky? Are you a youth charity? So you're registered at Companies House, but then you've also got an e-commerce store where you're selling. Oh, you've got an informational services business where you're selling training and advice and support. Training, advice, and support on what? What do you train on? What do you advise on? And what do you support on? So Dima says correct. One is B2B, so data analytics for retail, and another is B2C, fitness and physiotherapy. Okay, that's interesting, Dima. Right, so Sue Ellen says yes. What was Sue Ellen saying yes to? Telemarketing, right, okay. Rachel says couples coach. That's interesting. To support the transition to parenthood. Oh, wow. So you coach couples on how to become good parents. Is that what you do? Is that what you do, Rachel? You coach couples on how to become parents before they are parents. Is that what you do? So Becky says registered charity, yes. Homelessness, okay. Commission services by local authorities trying to increase reach to support more young people. Okay, so you're all doing different things, which is great. So some of you, I've not seen any e-commerce businesses here yet. So Rachel said it's about strengthening the foundations of your relationship to support through a significant transitional period, more about the relationship than parenting. Oh, okay. Okay, that's really great. Okay, thank you so much for that. It's good to know, you know, what you're all doing and where you're at, and, you know, but feel free to use the chat box to answer, you know, to ask your most pressing questions. If you do see someone in the chat box that you need to have a chat with, could you please do so professionally by, you know, going straight to them directly in their inbox on the chat. And then that way we won't get all the questions coming through mixed up with any chats that's going on. So that will be great. So let me just give you a little bit of information about my background, and then I'll speak a little bit about Wenta, and then we'll move forward from there. So as I said, my name's Carol Allen, and I've been in education for 25 years or so, which is quite a long time. So in education, I've done a number of different roles. My last role was that of a principal. And when I was teaching in education, I taught molecular science, I taught post-16 students, molecular science, and I also started a private training academy teaching post-16 students molecular science, but I was also working with government contracts as well as private contractors as well to deliver molecular science to post-16 students. I then went on to become a business coach. So I've been a business coach for teachers, teaching them and working with educators on how to transition from the classroom into their own businesses. So it was educational businesses and various other types of businesses as well. I've worked with entrepreneurs and I've worked with small business owners. So I've done quite a lot in that field. I've also owned a couple of e-commerce stores as well. So I've worked online as well as offline. So my field and my experience and my skill sets are quite wide. And one of the things that I absolutely love, which I'd invested quite heavily into, and I was trained in Florida in the US, United States of America, on marketing. So marketing is something that I absolutely love. That's why I decided to, you know, invest into it quite a lot. So content marketing is a concept of marketing itself. So we're going to be looking at how that sits under the banner of marketing. We're going to correlate that with the market itself, and we're going to look at different types of market segmentation and how to take your product or your service and segment that to different markets. So content marketing is the key to developing and growing and scaling your business. So let's talk a little bit about Wenta. So Wenta's been around for well, 40 years this year. It's quite a long time. So we've got offices in Stevenage, Enfield, Watford and Luton, and we rent out virtual desks, offices and workshops. We've got free car parking facilities that we offer to all of our clients. We also offer mailing services. We've got a virtual address that you can use, which has been so helpful to a lot of small business owners that don't want to use their personal home address for business, and rightly so. I highly don't recommend that you use your personal home address for your business, but to, you know, hire out a virtual address. So our virtual addresses, they're £13 plus VAT, and that's a monthly subscription. We also offer one-to-one telephone meetings with yourself and one-to-one Zoom calls where we do a deep dive into your business, and we offer these webinars and they're all completely free. So the Zoom calls, the telephone meetings and these webinars are completely free. Now, last year, we launched 2 new products. One is called Net Zero. You will see it over on our wenta.co.uk website, and the other is called Savings. So the moment you go to the website, you'll see two areas highlighted in red on the menu bar. And one will say Net Zero, My Business, the other will say Savings. Net Zero is all about how we help and support and walk you through on how to reduce the carbon emissions in your business. And you may ask, what is carbon emissions? It's all to do with emissions that are being released into the atmosphere that is no good for the planet. And we do that through so many ways that we don't even realize. Just driving our car is one way of how we release, carbon emissions. Another way is, just having a high energy bulb in the business that you're in or your house. Another way of, how to look at what is carbon emissions is look at the quality of the materials, that you're using in your business. Are they biodegradable? Are they, materials that can break down very quickly? Are these materials good for the planet? So we show you, and walk you step by step through your business and show you how to look at every detailed facet in your business and how to break this down and show you what you can do to reduce and bring down and lower the levels of carbon emissions that you're probably using in your business that you're not aware of. That's what we do. Now, why do we do that? It's because there is a government charter that's out right now that states that they want all business owners by the year 2050, and even before that, to start looking at ways of how they're going to reduce the carbon emissions in their business. Now, another thing that the government wants us to do at some point is for everyone to have an electric car. That there's a big push for that. That's coming, and that's going to be coming, much faster than what we think. So here at Wenta, we've already taken the initiative to train all our staff here, and everyone now has been trained on how to show you, the small business owner, on how to reduce the carbon emissions in your business. So we've got clients who are already taking the initiative. One of my clients, she's a jewelry maker, and the metals that she's using has got less aluminium in them, and she's using a lot of better quality materials that is better for the planet, and so on. A lot of our other clients, they're looking at, especially those that are in the catering business, they're looking at the quality of materials, bags, plates, plastic knives and forks and things like that. All of those, the quality of those, and they're looking at making sure that the ones that they're choosing are recyclable or they're biodegradable. And they're looking at a whole other lot of different ways of how they can save energy while preparing the food that they're actually preparing. So there's lots of businesses that are already on the reduction of carbon emissions in their business anyway. So that's why, one of the reasons why we're definitely moving forward and trying to spearhead this as a social enterprise. So another project that we had started last year was another one called Savings. Again, that's over on our wenta.co.uk website. If you go there, you'll see it. And in the saving tab, you will see 3 bundles that we have created. We've got the Feel Good, Feel Great, and Feel Better. So feel good, feel great, and feel better, I believe it is. So those 3 bundles, you will see that the Feel Free is the free bundle, and everything in that, all the resources there are completely free. The Feel Good and Feel Great, I did say feel better, didn't I? It's feel good and feel great. Those 2 particular bundles, they are bundles that where we've partnered with other organizations in order to be able to support you, the small business owner. So a lot of those partnerships right there, they are paid partnerships, but they give you a discount if you go through the Wenta link. So when you click on to link up with them, you just have to put your details in, and there's a link that goes right through to them that comes from our Wenta site. So they'll know that you're from Wenta. So that's what that is all about. You'll see website builders, you'll see banks. There's a bank there called Tide. They give you £50 for opening up a bank account with them. And there's also marketers there, there's tax accountants there and insurance brokers and other types of businesses as well. So when you get the break, we'll be taking the break at the top of this hour. Go and have a look and see what we've got there that will benefit you on the website. So that's a little bit about Wenta. So now we're going to go into our webinar and we're going to look at content marketing. So here's what we're going to be covering in the first part of this particular webinar. So content marketing, basically, it involves, how shall I say, it involves the creation and the sharing of online materials. Online materials or online content, I should say, such as videos, blogs, social media posts, anything you put out there. If you do a video, that is content. If you put up a post, that is content. You know, if you get on a live stream and stream that into one of the social media platforms, that is content. So anything to do with whatever it is that you put out there, it's classed as content. And this is why you've got to be careful as small business owners, what you're actually putting out. Now, you know, depending on the platform that you're on will determine what you post, because when you look at Facebook, there's a lot of people that are posting all different types of content on Facebook. They'll post the dog's dinner, they'll post where they went out last night, they'll post a new pair of shoes, a new pair of lipstick, they'll post anything on Facebook. Now, if you look at somewhere like LinkedIn, LinkedIn is very much a formal and business to business kind of platform. So, you know, they're very reserved with what they post, but anything that is posted is considered to be content. So, you know, the advantages basically of content marketing, and there are many, it's not direct selling. So you're not putting something in front of someone's face to say, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. What you are doing is you're building a position where you're trying to attract your ideal clients. You're trying to get them engaged. You know, it's a way of retaining the audience that you're trying to reach. And you're doing that by creating and sharing relevant articles, videos, podcasts, and other types of, you know, media that you're putting out there. And what does content marketing do? Well, the approach basically, it establishes your expertise, because when people see what you're posting, they start to buy into the brand, your brand, and they start to believe what you say. You know, and this is why a lot of people can quote a lot of what the gurus say, because they're believers and they're followers of them. So it establishes your expertise, it's going to promote your brand awareness, and it's going to keep your business at the top of people's mind all the time. Every time you see a big yellow sign that looks like an M, what do you think of? McDonald's. You know, every time you see the Nike sign, you don't even have to see the word Nike written. You just know that the sign is Nike. You know, so content marketing involves the creation and sharing of online materials. It's all online. Yes, you can content market offline as well, you know, but a lot of it goes on online. How many times do you open your mobile phone and when you go to one of the platforms, you see an advert? That's content marketing. The only difference is it's paid content. That's what it is. It's paid advertising that people have put out there for you. And they've actually, the mere fact that you're watching it, they've targeted you. That's what's happened there. And you can target your potential ideal client as well with your content. So it's important that you understand your market and that you understand who your ideal clients are. You see, social media is a very, very, integral part of content marketing, because when you have social media, you can market to many different outlets. Now, let me know in the chat if you're actually active on social media. Have you got a social media profile? That's the first question. And the second question is, are you active? Let me know in the chat. So content marketing, really, it's all about creating and distributing value. That's what you're doing. You're adding value to your ideal clients. And really what you're doing is dating them without realizing it, because you're trying to build that relationship with them. The more people can get to understand who you are, and I don't mean on a personal level, I'm talking about your brand, the more they can get to understand what you're about, the more they will begin to what we call get to know you, like you, and trust you. Now, if they don't know you, if they don't see you popping up here and there and, you're anywhere at all, if they don't see who you are, then how can they get to know you, like you, and trust you? And what you need to be aware of is that a lot of people on social media are very suspicious. They don't trust very easily. They think a lot of what goes on is scamming. They think a lot of people are very untrustworthy. So they don't really know you. And, they deem everyone in this category until they get to know you. And this is why there are so many strategies that you can actually use in order to help your potential ideal client to get to know you. And we're going to be looking at some of those strategies today. So let's see who is active on social media. So Rachel, I'm sure you've been on one of my webinars before, because I think I recognize your name. So Rachel is saying LinkedIn because I also am a consultant, so targeting corporates too. Rachel, have you been on one of my webinars before? So Sarah's saying trying to be active on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. When you say trying, Sarah, what do you mean? Are you active, or are you not active, or are you just beginning? Are you just starting out? Is that what you mean? So CN is saying, I'm active. I have over 500 followers on TikTok. That's great. I'm active on Instagram, but very little. Right. Okay. I don't know. I just recognize your name. So we're going to talk about the activity on social media. Becky's saying that she's on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Dima's saying she's currently limited on LinkedIn. So B2C should be different then. Well, you can actually be on LinkedIn offering services to businesses as well as to consumers. So you're segmenting two markets. And it depends on what you're offering as well. So Sarah's saying, I am a business admin for the business and I have plenty of ideas, etc. But my struggle is finding time with my director for approval when he's busy on site. Right, okay. So we'll go through why you need to become active. And when we talk about becoming active, it's not getting on the platform every single minute of the day. That's not what I mean. Because although some people do it, it's not the wisest thing to do. It's not the wisest thing to do at all. But the most important thing about, content marketing, it's all about adding value. People want value. People don't want to be bashed. They don't want to be sold to. They don't want you to put a lot of information in their way. people on social media, with all due respect to people, people like to do as little as possible. People are very lazy. They want you to do it for them. So when you're on social media, you've got to make things as easy for people to be able to connect with your brand as possible. They just want to click, and that's all they want to do. They don't want to do anything else, just to click, and that's it. So, they don't want to go through a lot of, difficult functionalities and difficult, processes to get to your brand. They just want to get to your brand, 1, 2, 3, bam, they're there. So, and this is why the quality of the content and the type of content is very important, when you're posting. And you need to think about your potential ideal client. What is it that you know that they want? Now, most of you have told me what you're selling. So tell me who you think your ideal clients are. Try not to guess. If you're going to guess, tell me you're guessing, because if you're guessing, I'll try my utmost best to be able to support you on that. But if you know who they are, tell me, just say, my ideal clients are, and tell me exactly who they are. So, but when you add value to people's lives, the content that you create should always be directing to helping them to overcome whatever their issues are. So, I often use the word problems, and I'm not talking about personal problems. I'm talking about, and people come to you because they're coming for a solution. So they've obviously got an issue or a problem or a challenge or a breakthrough that they need to overcome. They need a barrier that they need to get over barriers that are and obstacles that are in their way, in order to get the solution to what they want. So it's important that when they come to you, you are able to help to solve that problem. So let me just go back up the top. So Sue Ellen is saying almost any small to medium enterprises. Right. Remind me of what you sell again, Sue Ellen. Remind me of what you sell again. I'd have to scroll back to the top to see what you sell. Because you're saying almost any small to medium business enterprises. Right, so Becky said 16 to 25-year-olds not in education or needing additional support. Right. So Sarah is saying, my ideal clients are homeowners looking to add value to their homes. Okay, got it. Rachel's saying, my ideal clients are couples thinking about having children, expectant parents, or parents with children under 3. Okay, so Rachel, I've just counted 3 demographic groups there that you're working with. You're saying are your ideal clients. You're saying couples thinking about having children, or did I count 2? So couples, expectant parents. So that's 2 different demographic groups. You've got couples, then you've got expectant parents, and then you've got parents with children under 3. So that's 3 different demographic groups. So which one are you going to pick, Rachel? Which one are you going to focus on first for your ideal client? Because you've got 3 groups there. So Sienna is saying, mine is anyone who wears tracksuits and who likes urban streetwear. Right. So what group would that be, Cien? Because when you say anyone, you've made it quite broad. So what kind of people would actually narrow it down, bring it right in? What kind of people would actually wear tracksuits and urban streetwear? So narrow it, draw it right back in. You've made it quite broad. So Sue Ellen says telemarketing. So who would your ideal clients be, Suellen? So telemarketing is what you do. So who would your ideal clients be? Who would want telemarketing? Would it be businesses? And if it's businesses, what kind of businesses? Because not everyone wants telemarketing. So narrow that down, Suellen. So Dima's saying business to consumers. So people foremost either with an orthopedic health problem or those that want to lead a more active life. Okay, so that's two groups, Dima. They've got a health problem, that's one. And then you've got another group who wants to lead a more active life. So that's two groups. Right, so CN is saying 16 to 40-year-olds. Okay. Rachel's saying the clients are all couples, but it may be that they are thinking of having children, they're already pregnant, or already have children under 3. I'm classifying the period of parenthood that this type of coaching program will be most beneficial for them. Right, so Helen says, I've already told you and you'd ask me again what I do, telemarketing, right, okay. Thank you for that, Sue Ellen. Right, okay. Thank you for just letting me know who your ideal clients are. I think some of you are going to need to really draw it in. You're going to need to really narrow it in order to really pinpoint who your ideal clients are. There's an old saying that there is money in the niche, meaning that when you niche right in, your voice becomes louder when you're speaking to your ideal client. So let's continue to move forward. So what is marketing? So I'll give you a moment to read that, and then we'll go through different types of marketing activities that you can undertake. Right, so marketing basically, as it states, it's the management process that involves in identifying, anticipating, and satisfying your customers' wants profitably. So there's lots of things that you can actually do in order to be able to put your marketing activities out there. And I'll give you a list of some of them. You may already be using some of them, I don't know, but we'll go through them anyway. So some examples of what you can do to put content out there. You can carry out what we call email campaigns. So that's a form of marketing. So email campaigns are where you get someone to sign up to your email. So, you can actually offer them something for free. If you're going to offer someone something for free, make sure it's absolutely amazing. Because when people like your free, they're more inclined to buy your paid version of whatever it is that you're selling. So an email campaign will occur once you get them to sign up. You've got them on your list. Now you start building the relationship. You start having dialogue with them. You start adding value to that list. Where a lot of people tend to go wrong with their list is they collect the list and then do nothing after that. But there is money in the list. And I'll give you an example as to what I mean. When I was coaching my teachers and educators, I got to know them very well. We had spent a good year together. There's lots of dialogue, there was lots of training, lots of value being added over the year and so on. So, and they could speak to me personally as well. So through email campaigns that I had run, I offered a training program to, one of my lists. And I used to have several lists. I used to have a list of people, and I used to segment my list. I used to have them in different groups as well. So my educators, I offered a training program to, and it was a training program. I think it was for 6 months at the time. And within 72 hours, I had one person that had come through and purchased the program. 72 hours, I made £4,000 within 72 hours. Now, £4,000, you know, it's quite a lot of money in 72 hours because some people are not even earning that within a month. But I was selling high ticket because I always like to sell high ticket. And, you know, that was on the back of an email campaign that I had run. So when you have what you call warm leads, when you're marketing to people and they are people that you've got to know, they've got to know you, they've got to trust you, and they've got to like you, it's very, very easy to then serve them with what you know is best for them, whether it's products, whether it's services, it doesn't matter. And you know, that's a way of how you can actually sell to someone through email. So you're adding value, you're building relationships, you're getting to know them, you're having dialogue, and then you serve, you know, for what is best for them. And that's how you make the sale through email campaigns. You can also do the same through video campaigns as well. Again, this is another form of marketing, content marketing. So, you know, you can have, and it will depend on the nature of your business. You can have something like, you know, a 15-minute video broken down into 3 5-minute videos. And those 3 videos can basically be a part 1, part 2, part 3, and it can be on something that you know is going to add a lot of value to your ideal clients. So, you know, and again, you can also send the videos through email, and you can send them, you know, one video one day, then the next day, then the following day, and they've got the 3. Again, that's a way of you building your brand expertise. It's a way of your potential ideal clients getting to know you. And it's a way of you building the relationships with them. And that email, that video, whatever's in the video must add value to them. You can also do the videos as well, maybe through live streaming, or you can do it in a group if you've got a group that you've set up. You know, there's various different ways of how you can do video campaigns, and you tell your people when you're going to release the videos, and they will then be looking out for the videos. So it's a great way of building your brand. It's a great way of getting to know your people and them getting to know you as well. And they will deem you to be the expert when they see, you know, that you're confidently delivering a particular thing that's going to help support them, you know, as individuals or in their business. So Rachel says, do you mean in the form of newsletter or ad hoc sale emails to share? No, not ad hoc, because ad hoc won't build relationships, Rachel. I'm talking about you send out regular emails to them. It could be 3 times a week that you could email your list, and you're building relationships with them, you're adding values. And I personally always say, you know, unless your newsletter is going to be super duper good and it's going to add a ton of value in that newsletter, I don't normally recommend newsletters, to be honest, because a lot of people are very used to seeing the word sign up to my newsletter and be the first to know whatever it is that you want them to know. A lot of people are so used to that and they don't sign up to it. People want to sign up to something that's valuable. They sign up to something that's going to have an impact on their lives. That's what people like to sign up to. Really valuable, meaningful stuff, whatever valuable and meaningful is to you. So, you know, I'll give you an example. Let's just use the weight loss industry, for example. You know, if someone wanted to lose a particular amount of weight and you were offering a way of how they can do that through getting them to sign up for something free, it could be that you're going to give them, you know, a list of 7 meal cards that they can use over the next 7 days that will show them how to cook a very healthy meal for a family of 4 within 40 minutes. That is something meaningful for them to sign up to because they're on the weight loss journey. You know, they can do this with their family and it's not going to take them very long, you know, after they come in from work and they've got to start cooking. So that's what I mean by adding value and being meaningful at the same time. Another way of how you can, you know, put content out there. So I've given you two so far. You can put posts. You know, there's lots of posts that you can put out there, and your post must always reflect where your potential ideal clients want to get to. So, you know, if your clients are struggling with something particular, you don't never talk about the struggle. You always talk about how they can get over that struggle, how they can do X, Y, and Z to overcome whatever that struggle is. So all your posts should always be reflective of, you know, them getting to where they want to get to. You know, another thing that you can do, people love questions. When you ask a random question, it will be random to them, but it won't be random to you. To you, it will be a strategic approach that you're using in asking a particular question. And people love to ask questions. I remember I was working with one of my entrepreneurs, and she was selling hot pepper sauce at the time. And I told her to go to a particular group. There was over 600,000 people in this group. And I asked her to post a question. And the question was hitting at the core of what kind of pepper sauce people preferred. And within less than an hour, she had over 350 responses. It was quite overwhelming for her because she didn't think so many people would respond. But if you ask the right question in a group, you're going to get a good response. If you ask the wrong questions, then you won't get the response that you're looking for. So your question's got to be a right question in order to get the right response. And we used that particular survey in order to be able to then move forward with the next thing. And it was amazing. It was amazing. You know, so that's another form of content, asking questions. You know, another form of content, and I'm giving you the list as we're going down, could be you sharing your story. You can share your story on a live stream, on a pre-recorded video, and upload it to your social media, or you can share it in a written format. You know, you can share it on LinkedIn. LinkedIn does a lot of articles. There's a lot of articles that people write over there, or you can share it on Facebook. So there's lots of, you know, there's a couple of platforms there that you can use, but lots of ways of how you can actually share your story. If you're on TikTok, TikTok has got quite a lot of young people over there. TikTok is booming at the moment. And, you know, the young people over there, they love short videos, short, sharp, quick videos. If you've got something that's visual, TikTok is the place to go and share that, especially if it's going to resonate with the younger people over there. So, you know, you've just got to think about, what do your ideal clients need right now? What is it that they want? And that's what you're going to speak to. You're going to speak to the results of what they want. Another thing that I've done, and everything that I'm sharing here are from my personal experience, as well as what I know as well that works. So I'm kind of shortcutting everything for you, and, you know, just cutting out all the things that didn't work and giving you all the things that have. Another thing that you can do is a challenge. I've ran umpteen challenges, so many different challenges. Now, what is a challenge? So a challenge is a topic that you come up with that you know is going to support your ideal clients, whatever that topic is. So you come up with the topic and then you break it down into subtopics across a 3, 5, 7, 15 or 30-day period. Some people run 30-day challenges. And, you know, each night you come on at a specified time, you let the groups know, or the people that are following you know, or anyone who signed up to the challenge, because obviously you're going to advertise it before. You've got to spend a good month preparing the challenge and advertising it to give people the opportunity and the time to sign up to it. So, and that takes about a month in preparation. So again, it's a strategic approach in order to get the content out there, but it works. And I'm going to show you how. So you come up with the topic, you break it all down and break it into subheadings, and you deliver whatever the content is that sits under those subheadings each night or day, whenever you've structured the time that, you know, you've told them that you're going to come on. And you deliver and deliver and deliver. And halfway through your challenge, you start seeding what you have to sell. So you start talking about the benefits of what you've got to sell, and you're seeding it as well as delivering. So you're delivering to them, but you're seeding as well. And, you know, when you get to the near to the end of the challenge, you start now talking a lot about what you've got to sell. By this time, you know, that group of people that you've been speaking to throughout the week or weeks have now got to know you. They've been able to ask you a lot of questions. They've got to like you because they're showing up every day. And they've got to understand who you are and what your brand is about. And now they want to know how you can help them, because the whole point of why they're on the challenge in the first place is because they've all got an issue. They've got something that they want from you that you have got, you know, and that's whatever your offer is, whatever it is that you're selling. And, you know, this is how you get to the end of the challenge, and then you start to sell. And people then don't feel as though you're selling to them, because they'll feel like you're serving them because you've been adding value all week. So they now are so full, they're ready now to take that credit card out and buy whatever it is that you've got to sell. So, you know, but I like to use the word serving rather than selling, because when you serve, you know that you're adding the quality of value that people need right now to meet wherever they're at. Right, so let me just see, I can see a couple of things in the chat box. Right, so Rachel's asking, what's the general age or demographic using TikTok? It's teenagers and people in their 20s. But a lot of businesses advertise over there as well, because it's a platform where people do a lot of video marketing. So there are a lot of businesses over there. I've got a client who's a cleaner, and she made this really quirky video. It was a very funny video. And she put on an apron and she was cleaning to music and dancing at the same time. She put it over TikTok and she got quite a lot of views. And she got a lot of people got to know her as a cleaner because she cleans within her local area, and she got business out of it. So, you know, and you know, she just did that randomly. You know, so it worked. So, you know, obviously someone must have told their parents, and parents got in touch with her, and, you know, she was able to get some business out of it. So Dima's saying, why is it called a challenge? Challenge for whom? That's a really good question, Dima. That's the main name as to what it's called. It's to be honest with you, Dima, it's an American terminology, and a challenges started off in America, and they kind of, you know, came. We kind of picked them up, so we kind of continued using the same name. Why or who called it a challenge, I don't know. You can call it different things, but you've just got to make sure that whatever you call it, your potential clients understand what it is. You know, some people call it a challenge, some people call it something different, but the main name that people recognize is the word challenge. So, and you say for whom? It's for the clients that you want to attract to buy whatever services you're offering or products. So CN says all different age groups are on there now, just not just, yeah, a lot of young people are on there, but a lot of businesses do advertise over there as well. If we look at the demographics of, say, Facebook, in comparison to, say, TikTok, the people who are on TikTok, you won't see them on Facebook, because the people that are on Facebook are much older and much more mature people. But you will see the majority of people that are over there are mainly kind of young people in their teenage years and in their 20s and late 20s. The people that are on Instagram, and I'm going by the statistics that's been released by Mark Zuckerberg. So on Instagram, the age demographics are between 25 going up to 35. On Facebook, it's people in their 40s, 50s, even up to their 80s. And those stats have been released by the person who owns the platform. So Dima says, but I am challenging potential clients to do something through the content. Right, I don't understand what you mean, Dima. So I've just given you a list of different ways of how you can actually put the content out there. And I've explained in detail the different types of things that you can do with each one. So let's move forward now, because we've got quite a lot to cover. So let's have a look at what marketing does. So there's three purposes of marketing, and marketing is there to capture the attention of your target market. It's there to persuade consumers to purchase your product, and it's there as well to provide the customers with a specific low risk action that's very easy to take. So marketing is not direct selling, it's indirect. You're dangling the carrot, so to speak, in front of your potential ideal clients. Everything you do in terms of content marketing is towards your ideal clients. And previously, the list that I've given you, the email marketing, the video marketing, there's different challenges that you can do. All of those things are forms of marketing. If you're into coaching, challenges is something that a lot of coaches do. Just go and join some of the entrepreneurial groups and you'll see challenges all in those groups. If you want to learn more about how to do challenges. So, there's lots that you can consider in terms of content, but you've just got to make sure that the content will resonate, with your potential ideal clients, the people who you are trying to attract. Some of your content you will find will repel people that you don't want to attract. And you can be strategic in how you do that, because if you want to attract, clients that will pay premium rates for whatever services you're offering, you just keep your prices high, and then that will repel people who you don't want. If you want higher paid clients, you just charge higher paid prices, and you will attract those people, and it will repel the others. So approaches are very strategic. Everything you do, there must be strategy behind it. When you post content from now, everything should be going somewhere. There should be a stepping stone leading onto something. If I'm on social media and I'm trying to reach, a particular group of people, that I'm trying to and hoping to reach, then I'm going to make sure that I start building the stepping stones. I start building the relationships. I'm going to, come on Facebook or come on Instagram or wherever it is that I'm on, and or where my ideal clients are, and I'm going to reintroduce myself and thank them for, being one of my connections, whether it's on LinkedIn or Facebook or wherever, and just ask them, to share what they do. So you're giving them a call to action. Not everybody's going to respond, but some people will respond. It's always a good idea to look at the low-hanging fruit. And what do I mean by that? If you've got people that are already following you on your profile page, it's a good idea to check out who could potentially be your ideal clients, because sometimes your ideal clients are already in your group. They're already on your page, but you don't know. If you don't ask, you won't know. But that's why it's a good idea to reintroduce yourself on your page and tell people what you do. And, if they want to reach out, they can send you a direct message and things like that. And that's the way you start building relationships. It's all about building that relationships. You can't just decide, right, I've got this particular service or I've got this particular product and I'm just going to push it out there. People don't want you to do that and push things in their face. That's what I call scamming them. You need to make sure, because people don't want your links. If they don't know you and you just send them a link in the inbox, you scam them. But if you start building the relationship from where you are, from the page that you're on, and then people that reach out, then you can start having conversations. That's a very different approach. It's a much softer and more friendlier approach than to just pick people at random and just, put things in their inbox. So we are now at the top of the hour. We're going to take a break. You don't need to shut your computers down. Just pause, and I will see you in 10 minutes. Hi, everyone. We're back. I'm just reading some of the comments. Right. Okay, Dima, you sound like you're a little bit confused from what you're saying about a challenge. Maybe a challenge, because I've explained it in quite a detailed way. So maybe it's probably something that you wouldn't use, Dima. So you don't need to worry about it. What you can do, you can either do a email challenge, or you can probably do a video challenge, or you can share a part of your story that would resonate with your ideal clients. So a challenge isn't what everybody would use. So, and it's not what everybody would do as a form of content marketing. I was really just sharing a different type of content marketing that you can actually apply to your business. If you do want to know a little bit more about challenges, then feel free to book an appointment with me, and I'd be quite happy to explain it in a lot more detail. I don't think time's going to allow me to spend a good 30 minutes on it today, because we've got quite a detailed content marketing webinar to deliver. So let's continue to move forward, because we've got quite a lot to do. So here is just a statement as to what content marketing is all about, and it's from the Content Marketing Institution. So this is a statement that they made, and you may agree or disagree. So here is an advert of what Evian, and you're probably all familiar with Evian water. They actually put this particular piece of content out on YouTube some years ago. And it was very humorous, it was funny, it was quite trendy, and a lot of people responded to this particular ad. And remember, because content can either be paid or organic. So you can either pay for it, or you can literally just do it for free. You obviously you put it out there, and it doesn't cost you any money. So these guys, what they did was they stood in front of a shop window, and they started dancing, and they turned into these little babies that you can see on their t-shirts. And it was a very, very funny kind of video. And really what they were advertising, without saying a word, without any links or anything, was Evian water. And, it was a great ad. It went viral, and it did very, very well. And again, you have Marvel Comics. I don't know whether or not any of you used to, buy Marvel Comics on a Saturday, or any form of comics when you were kids. And again, all of these comic characters. I remember when I was, a child, I used to watch the Hulk, I used to watch Batman and Robin and Wonder Woman. I don't know if anybody remembers all of these. And all of this was just content that was being pushed out there by Marvel. At the time, obviously being young, you don't know it's Marvel, but Marvel started off with content marketing. And then they developed into making figurines that became collector's items. They then went into making blockbuster movies, and now Netflix has snapped them up. And, you can go on Netflix now and watch the Marvel movies. And where did Marvel start? They started with content marketing. That's where they started with. So, they, started doing this, and now wherever you see the word Marvel, you just recognize who they are. And, and this is what I'm talking about when I'm, talking about building your brand identity, because it's all to do with, do people recognize who you are or not? How will they recognize you? The more visible you are, the more you can resonate with your ideal clients, the more people will begin to believe that you are the expert. So it's, it's a really, really easy way of getting your content and whatever it is, your product out there. And this is what Marvel did. So here's an example of a post. This particular post was actually put on LinkedIn. Now, I want you to have a really quick look at it and tell me, who do you think would benefit from a post like this? Who does it speak to you? Because this was created by a psychologist on LinkedIn, and it was trending on LinkedIn. A lot of people responded to it. A lot of people, had something to say about it. When you look at it, it doesn't really look like, although it looks quite busy, it doesn't look like there's an awful lot that you can say about it, but people kind of caught on to the words. 10 ways to have a better conversation. Who does that speak to? Don't multitask. Go with the flow. So in other words, don't overthink things, just go with the flow. Listen. This is the number one skill. Who would you say this particular post would speak to? Because different people from different professions actually responded to this, and that's why it was trending, because everyone saw something on here, or a lot of people, I should say, that resonated with them. So let's have a look. So Suellen's saying, hang on, let me go back. So Cyan's saying preteens. Okay, Suellen's saying shy, busy, overworked people. Yes. Rachel's saying everyone. So Becky's saying people with ADHD or finding it difficult to prioritize tasks. I'll agree with that. And Suellen says, yes, everyone. So a lot of people responded. I would say, looking at some of the pointers, and I agree with what you've said, maybe managers, 10 ways to have better conversations. That would speak to leaders and managers, do you think? Go with the flow, people that make things more, I don't know, difficult than what they are. Go with the flow. Just take it easy and go with the flow. And there's a lot of people that resonate. What kind of people would you say, go with the flow to? What kind of people would you say listen? Because a lot of us don't listen. A lot of us hear, we can hear, but we're not really listening. So, and for that reason, a lot of people responded to this, and it was an amazing post. It looks busy, it looks chaotic, but it did very, very well on LinkedIn, believe it or not. So Suellen's saying not just managers, but people who find conversations with anyone difficult. Yes. Becky's saying people who feel overwhelmed. I agree. So, and that's why they had such a huge response to it. So it's all about, when you're putting a piece of content out there, whatever the content is, think about the people that you want to resonate with it. You can mix up the content. Sometimes you can put out a static post. There's other times where you can probably put out maybe a live stream if you do live streams, or maybe you could put out something that's, like I said, you could ask a question. So you can mix up the content. So it doesn't have to be the same all the time. And, you will know what your potential ideal clients responds to a lot, because if you've created a Facebook page, you should have in the back end of that page an ability to be able to see your analytics. So you can actually see how your posts are doing, how, people are responding to them. And whatever you see people are responding to a lot, that's what you put more of out there. So videos are very popular. People respond to videos quite a lot, more so than a static post. But if your posts are conversational and sociable, then people will respond, as long as you give them a call to action. You tell them that you want them to, respond to it. So John Loomer said this. And really, content, it's all about, the message. It's all about whatever that subliminal message is that you want people to receive. It's got to resonate with them. People have got all sorts of different things that they're looking for a solution to. A lot of people are on social media because they have something that they need to overcome. It could be as simple as wanting to go into do the garden, do some gardening, and you've got a fork that doesn't work. That's a problem to some people. That is an issue. So how would they solve that problem? Well, they would go to the gardening shop, to go and buy the appropriate tool in order to do what they want to do in the garden. So, and that's what I mean by when I say problems. So you might not call it a problem. You might call it an issue. You might call it a, something that they need to overcome. Maybe they've got a barrier in their way. People that are going through various types of coaching programs are people who, and it depends on which bit of coaching it is that you're doing. Let's just say you've got a situation where you're coaching divorce, a couple who's about to divorce. That is a problem that they've got. They've come to you as the expert to help them to probably try and solve whatever the issue that they've got so that they don't have to get divorced. So we have what you call divorce coaches. So a lot of the content that, that particular kind of coach would put out there would be around relationships. So, you've got to think about your ideal client and what is it that they need right now. And you talk about those things that are going to make the relationship better, stronger, all of that kind of thing. So, and it's knowing your ideal client. Yesterday, I delivered a webinar, and one of the things that I was saying to everyone that was on the webinar, if you're working from your place of expertise, in other words, if what you're doing in your business is from a place of the fact that you used to do that in your day job, so that's your expertise, you will know your ideal clients inside out. And you will know exactly what kind of content to put in front of them. So your content should always show you as the expert and someone that they can trust, agreeing with, and looking at what John Loomer says, content is king basically mainly for two reasons, and that's to get attention and to give someone an answer. When it actually comes to consumers like to understand clearly, with clarity, what is it that you want them to resonate with. If they don't resonate with it, if you're speaking and they can't hear, then they will just move on to the next person that they think that can help them. That's what they do. Whether it's they're going to buy something, whether it's they're going to, go through a program that you've got or whatever it is. So, people make what we call snap decisions, whether they look at your content or not. So your content has always got to resonate. It's always got to be attention grabbing. If you're going to send out emails, your emails always have to be having good headings, because remember, your emails are going to be competing with a lot of other people's emails that's in that person's inbox. So if it's got a good heading, they're more likely to click and open it up. So oftentimes when I used to send emails, I would send emails and I would ask my heading, would ask a question. And people often get curious with what's in the email because it's asking a particular question. Sometimes my emails would say something like, did I forget to tell you? And I'd put a question mark at the end of it, and they'd get curious. The curiosity would then cause them to want to click to open up. And I used to have, at the time when I had my educators and I was working with them, I used to have quite a high open rate for my emails. So, you've got to be able to warm people up in order for people to, get to know, like, and trust you as a brand. So when we're talking about, putting content out there that you're asking people to sign up to, make sure it's really good quality that you're asking them to sign up to. Otherwise it just repels them and they just go on to something totally different. So let's have a look at the advantages of content marketing, and I'll give you an opportunity to read this and then we'll discuss it. Okay, so there's a couple of points that I'll pull out on this. So point 4, it says content marketing creates content that gets shared. Now, that is a really, really good thing. If what you create, people are sharing, what happens on places like LinkedIn, you start to trend. And let's just say you're on Twitter and you've put out a tweet and people start sharing that tweet, you start trending. So trending is always good because it basically means that a lot of people will get to see your post. And when you're trending, it also triggers what we call the algorithm. And you want the algorithm to work in your favor all the time. Now, if you are quiet on social media, so if you've got a social media presence, but you're not very active, what happens is the algorithm, because every social media platform has got an algorithm, and the algorithm knows whether you're active or not. The less active you are is the least amount of times the algorithm will show your content to your potential ideal clients. The more active you are is the more that it will show it. And you can actually, you don't need to spend 24 hours a day on social media being active. All you need to do is schedule your posts. That's what a lot of people do. Some people will schedule their posts for the next month, for the next week. They'll sit down, one day within the week or on a Sunday or something, and they will, create the content they want to go out, whether it be on a daily basis or, whenever it is that they send it out or schedule it for. And, that's what a lot of people do. And it looks as though they are on social media all the time, but they're not. They've just got the postal schedule on specific days at specific times to go out. So the algorithm is monitoring that kind of activity all the time. The algorithm loves activity. The more active you are, is the more the algorithm will show your content to your ideal clients. That's what happens. All algorithms love activity. So, so getting your content shared is always a good thing. And you can also ask people to like it and share it as well. You know, if you, let's just say you did a live stream, you did a live video and you spoke about something that was really powerful to your audience. You could say to them, you know, please share it, you know, get it out there, share it with a friend, share it with someone who you know is going to resonate with this message. And you're asking them to share it. People will share it. So, you know, you can ask to share. Another thing that you can do to make yourself look active is when you're in other groups, you can comment and you can also put likes on as well. And if you like the content, you can also share. Again, that's you being active. So you can literally schedule your posts to go out, you know, almost every other day throughout the week. And then you can probably jump onto, you know, social media for half an hour, go into a couple of groups, you're commenting on things, you're liking things, and you're sharing things, and you're off. So you don't need to spend the whole day you know, consuming other people's content and wasting the time. You can spend your day producing what I call income producing activities. That's more meaningful to me than to be consuming other people's content. So, you know, you can all have your content pre-prepared, ready to go out. You know what your audience will want if you know who they are. So Rachel says, I've heard that on LinkedIn, it's good to write at least 5 words if you're commenting on other people's posts for the algorithm to appreciate you. To be honest with you, a lot of people, whenever I've posted on LinkedIn, a lot of people will write more than 5 words. I've not heard that, basically, Rachel, because when people like something that you've shared, people will write anyway. You know, people will write and people will respond to whatever your post is if they resonate with your post. It doesn't matter whether it's 5 words or not. The most important thing is people have responded, but you know, I've not heard the 5-word theory at all. And I'm in groups right now that the people that are running the groups are LinkedIn specialists. I've never heard that, Rachel. Another point on here that I'd like to pull out before we move on is content. The last one, content marketing is highly targeted. So it's important that, again, it goes back to how well do you know your ideal clients. Remember, and I will be talking about the ideal client quite a lot throughout this particular webinar, because any content that you put out, it's got to speak to your ideal client, your potential ideal client, the one that you're trying to attract to buy your products and your services. So it needs to resonate with them. You know what the problem is that they have, or the issues, call it what you want. You know that they need your services or your products. So, but what is the issue that they have? Look at what you've got to sell. Will it actually help and fix the problem that they have? That's what you've got to ask yourself. So everything that you post in terms of content should speak to whatever the problem is that they have. It should speak to the benefits of it. It should speak to the solution side of what they have. And that's why I say, you know, lots of people are struggling with lots of things. And you know, I'll go in some groups and I'll see people that have posted things and they'll say things like, are you struggling with this? Or, you know, do you ever struggle with that? People don't want to feel like they're struggling. They don't want to feel like it. So when you put up posts around the struggle, it repels people because they don't want to resonate with, they don't want you to remind them that they're struggling. They want you to tell them how to get out of the struggle. So all of your content should be speaking to how to get out of it, not are you doing it? Are you in it? So, you know, Anyway, so content marketing basically helps to, it helps people to make up their minds. You know, it's going to target people who can afford to buy your product and your services. It's also going to, you know, help people to understand more about your brand. There needs to be at least 19 to 20 touch points before people will resonate with who you are. So they need to see you quite a few times before they will resonate with who you are. So when you post content, if your content resonates and people are clicking, people are reading, people are commenting, you will get a broader reach. You will reach more of those people that you're trying to reach. The algorithm will help you and do the heavy lifting, and the algorithm will help you to do that. So you've got to understand who your market is. So this is a company called Relton Associates. They did very, very well to get on page 1 of Google. And they made sure that they put the right keywords into their post, and they were able to get onto the first page of Google. This brought in a lot of business for them. It's all about having the right keyword. You know, so I don't know if you've ever heard the word search engine optimization. We call it SEO. It's a kind of marketing that is used in order to use the keywords that your potential ideal clients are going to resonate with, and that will get you onto the first page of Google. There are marketing organizations out there who only deal with, they only help you market your business through the use of search engine optimization. It takes time, and you've got to get the momentum going. And when you do hire companies to do search engine optimization, they normally ask you to sign up for 3 to 6 months, because it takes them time to get to see how your business works and what people resonates with in terms of keywords. So, but, you know, people like Neil Patel, I don't know if you've ever heard of Neil Patel. He's a marketer. He's one of the best marketers in the world. He does a lot of search engine optimization, and he will tell you it takes time to build it up. You know, but then saying that, I've got a client who's a nutritionist, and she created her own website, and she was able to get her website right off the back of creating it on the first page of Google. She did so well. So very well. So, you know, for some people, it can happen fairly quickly if you've got the right keywords on the right pages of your website and your social media posts. For others, it's going to take a little bit longer if you've not got the right keywords on there. So, so Dima's asking a question. She said, have I understood correctly? On average, it's 20 touch points with content before they buy, or yeah, so they need to see your content at least 20 times before they can resonate with your brand, and before they will even consider a purchase. So 20 times is roughly what statistics say. Okay, so we're now going to have a look at the target market and key messages. So we're going to look at a bit of segmentation as well. So let's have a look at wholesome foods. So I want you to tell me, who do you think would benefit from wholesome foods? What kind of market would really benefit from this? So let's just say you were selling this. Who would you actually sell wholesome foods to? So you can pop that in the chat. Okay, so Sue Ellen says health freaks and vegans. I agree with that, Sue Ellen. Rachel says individuals that are overweight or have food intolerances. Yes, I agree. Sarah says, people who need a specific diet. I agree. Sam says the elderly to stay healthy longer. I agree with all of it. So let's have a look at the different types of people. So people that are into athletics and sports. Greyhound is the elderly. I don't particularly like that word, but that's the word that's there. So the elderly and pregnant ladies, people that have got a child on the way, or young moms that have got children who are, growing up. So this is one particular product that you could potentially sell to 4 different groups of people. Now, here's the thing. This is going to mean you're going to have 4 different marketing messages. And this is why I say, when you say that you're selling to everyone, you can't be selling to everyone, because if you're selling to everyone, you're going to have millions of different messages. So if you're selling to everyone, where and how, where are you going to get the time from to create all these different messages? And how are you going to do it? So there's 2.8 billion people on Facebook alone. Not all of those people are going to be your ideal clients. There's over 2.6 billion people on YouTube. Not all of those people are going to be your ideal clients. So you've got to, and this is why I say, narrow it down. When I asked you earlier, in the earlier part of this webinar, who are your ideal clients? Some of you were able to pinpoint for me who your ideal clients were. There was a couple of you that weren't able to do that, but there was a reason why I'd ask, because when you have your particular product or service that you're selling, when you know who your ideal clients are, you know exactly how to create content. You will never run out of content to create for them, because you know who they are. When you don't know who they are, you'll get confused about the kind of content that you'll need to create for them, because you don't know who they are, you don't know what they need, you don't know what they want. If you don't know, then you will get confused. So you need to know who they are and be confident about who they are and what they want right now. And if you're working from your place of expertise, you will know who they are. If you're starting a business that is completely new to you and you've never done this kind of business before, then I would advise that you get to know the industry, you get to know who the people are, you get to know what issues they have, why do they want your services or your products. Get to know, find out, do the research, spend time, join groups where they are, see the kind of things that they're saying, get to know and understand them, ask questions, and and get to learn about them. When I started my first business, I took that from the place of my expertise. So I knew my demographics inside out. So I only had to focus on one message. And this is the most important thing. When you've got something that you're selling and you're just starting out, focus on one group first. And that means niching down. That's what I mean when I say focus on one group. You're niching right down. And I just want to say as well, because I've heard people say, but Carol, if I niche down, I'm going to isolate this particular group over here, or I'll end up isolating this particular group over here. Right. When you niche down to a particular audience group, there is money in that niche, meaning when a niche is smaller than a general niche, when you have a general client, it's broader and you have to sell your products a lot cheaper. But when you have a more narrower niche and it's more smaller, that you're focused on, you can charge higher prices. The niche will be used to the premium of whatever it is that you're charging for, because they know it's not a lot of multi-millions of people that's interested in what they're interested in. Niches know, they're super intelligent people, and let me give you an idea of a niche. A niche could be, and this is a very small niche, but where people charge very high prices. A chiropractor for horses. A chiropractor who works with horses is a niche, and they charge very high prices because it's not a big area that lots of people have delved in. The bigger the area is, the less high premium prices you can charge on most occasions. Another narrowed niche could be, let's just say, let me think quickly. Another narrow niche could be someone who, let's just say you've got a dentist. Dentists are general, but some dentists are specialists. There's orthodontists. There's people who, do veneer specialists. There's people who do teeth whitening. These are specialists in these areas. So that niche is narrower than just saying, I'm a dentist that does everything. When you're a dentist that specializes in one thing, you can charge higher prices than a dentist that does everything. And that's why that's what I mean by when I say narrowing down the niche. Come narrower. When you get narrower, you can increase your prices, and people expect high prices in smaller niches. So, if you're just starting out, if you were trying to sell to 4 groups of people, your content would now have to be focused on 4 different messages, and that would be quite a lot of work for you. So I always recommend, when people say to me, Carol, I've got a particular project or I've got a particular service, who do you think I can sell it to? I'm going to look at the person, the group of people that have got the most money in their pocket, and that's the niche we're going to go for. So, you've just got to look at what you've got and look at who it's going to benefit. So let's talk a little bit about customer profiling. So I've said a bit of this already. You need to know who your ideal clients are. Because, and I don't mind repeating myself with this, when you know who they are, you know exactly what kind of content they will like. You know what they will resonate with. You know what they will respond to. So, as I said earlier on, I've been in education for 25 years. So I know that teachers and people in education like to read. So on LinkedIn, you've got an opportunity to write articles, and people love to read. And you might think, oh my gosh, this might seem to be too long. But remember, people like to read. And a lot of people who are on LinkedIn, although they've got a profile on LinkedIn, they're not on LinkedIn every single day. Some people are just there and their profile is there, but they're not active every day. If they are your ideal clients and they're part of your connection, the posts that you put up will trigger them to now look at what you've posted, because they get a notification from LinkedIn every day to say that there's posts, that they've not seen. So it's knowing who your ideal clients are and knowing what they want right now. You post according to the results of what they want. So there's blogs. People love writing blogs. Some people are blog writers. They love writing about particular topics, and people love to read it. You can write your story on Facebook, and there are people that love to read it. You can be in a particular group on Facebook, whatever that group is, and you can write your story, and and your story would resonate with your ideal client. And then at the end of that story, you can give people a call to action. You can say to people, if you resonate with this, then send me a direct message and I'll be happy to have a chat with you. And people respond to things that resonates with them. People get emotional about some of the things. I've written stories that have made people get very emotional to a point where they're in tears, because they've resonated with it so much that it's kind of just triggered and spoken, to that soft part of when they were going through. I've read people's stories, on the reverse side of what I'm saying. I've read people's stories and it's brought a tear in my eye, because it was a beautiful story and I could see how them going through that process, it's now brought them to a point of, victory. And that's how your story should always, show someone where you were at, but how you now overcame, and now you're doing all the great things that you're doing and you're moving forward in your life. People love reading things like that. So you've got to think about what who your potential customers will be. And you can look at them in terms of their profile. You can look at them in terms of their age. Look at what you've got to sell. Many times people come to me and they will say, Carol, I've got a website, I'm on social media all the time, and I'm not really reaching my ideal clients. People aren't responding to my posts. People aren't going to my website. And when we look and get down to the nuts and bolts behind what's going on, it's marketing. It's the message. It's the content that's going out. So, and this is why I can't stress enough. You've got to get to know who your ideal clients are. If you can nail down to the letter who they are, what problems they have, what solution you can bring to help them solve that problem, and post your content around that, I can say to you today, my friend, that you will get people responding to your posts. You will get people resonating. You will get people sending you messages and saying, I saw your post on Facebook. I saw your post on LinkedIn. I saw that video that you did on YouTube, and that spoke to me. That's the kind of messages you want to get. So, you've just got to have all those moving parts in the right place. So, Cyan's saying, I've asked questions on my videos and no one's responded. I get views, but not many likes. I can't remember what you said you do, Cyan. What kind of questions did you actually ask? And, you said that you've asked questions on your videos. Okay, do you do live streams, and what platforms are your ideal clients on, Cyan? What platforms do you mostly do your videos on? So you need to know, what keeps your ideal client up at night. What do they talk about a lot? What kind of verbiage do they use? What kind of language? What are their complaints? What kind of things do they talk about? So Cyan's saying, I asked if they'd like to see a different style of clothes that I showcase my videos. Haven't done live streams yet, just TikTok. Right. So you've asked if they'd like to see different styles of clothes and no one's responded. Right. Okay. It's probably the way that you've actually asked the question, because if you ask if they'd like to see different styles of clothes, that's quite a broad question. You can narrow the question by telling them what specific kind of clothes you've got, rather than asking would they like to see a different style. Show them the types of styles that you've got, you know, and are you resonating with your ideal client? That's another thing. Are you hitting, you know, the targets of your ideal client? Okay, so right. If you would like to, if you want me to go through what you do, Cyan, book an appointment with me. You can go to info@wenta.co.uk and book an appointment with me right there. You'll go through to the business advisory team, and I'd be quite happy to sit down and go through your business with you and go through some marketing strategies that you can apply. I'd be quite happy to do that. So book that appointment and let's have a look at your business. I don't believe that they don't appreciate the work that you do. I believe that you're talking to the wrong people. I believe that you're targeting the wrong people. It's not that they don't appreciate the work, but if the people that you're talking to isn't talking back, it means that they're not resonating with your message. So you're obviously, from what I'm understanding that you're saying, is you're not talking to your ideal clients. And this is why, you know, I'm putting a level on get to know who your ideal clients are, get to know what issues they have, get to know what you can do to support them. And when we've drilled down, get on a one-to-one with me, Simon, and you'll see exactly what I can help you to do. And I think that will help you a lot. So it's not a website. It's you can contact us via email. It's info@wenta.co.uk. At the ending of this webinar, there's a slide with all the contact details, and you'll see it there as well. Okay, and then we'll go through, and you'll see, you know, the kind of things that we'll talk about and how deep we'll go into what you need to do. Okay, so now we're going to be talking about the extension of customer profiles. So, you know, earlier on we'd looked at wholesome foods and all of that. Now we're going to look at 3 different types of groups of people. So, you know, we're heading towards 12 o'clock. We're going to take a break soon. We've got athlete Alex, we've got blood pressure Billy, and we've got Wendy working mom. So these 3 people are going to require 3 different types of content. It's a nutritionist that can serve these 3 people, but it's 3 different messages. Why is it 3 different messages? Because it's 3 people who requires 3 different needs. So you can have a service that you're offering, and what I always say is you can offer that service to more than one person, but if you're just starting out, pick one first. And, you know, and this is something else that, you know, the marketer, Neil Patel, states. He tells you to pick one and then broaden out. And I totally agree. And that's something that I've said for a long time. When you pick one niche, you can always broaden a little bit later on, but get to know that niche first. So, you know, this particular nutritionist here, you know, she will, if I was advising her as a business, you know, coach, I'd be saying, pick one. Which one do you want to go with? Let's have a look at the one that we know is able to afford your products and your services. That's the group that we're going to go for. You know, so you've got to think about what it is that you're offering and the messaging that surrounds that, that will determine the kind of content that you're going to put out as well. Right, we are at the top of the hour and we are going to take another break, and I will see you shortly. Okay, I hope you're all refreshed. This is our final break before we conclude at 1 p.m. I told you it was going to go fairly quickly, and it really has. And we've still got quite a bit to get through yet. So you're so welcome, Becky. I'm glad that you're finding this really helpful. Thank you. Okay, so as I was saying before we took the break, you can see that we've got 3 different types of demographic groups here. Again, it's one nutritionist being able to serve 3 different groups. And you'll find this in your own businesses. You know, you'll realize that you've got a particular service or a product that you're selling, and it can benefit more than one group. And you know, what I always say to new business owners is test it out. You know, see which market responds to what you have to sell. You know, the better. But if you've got a market that doesn't really have a lot of disposable income, that's the market I wouldn't really go to, because you want to be able to sell your products and services. So there's no point in going to a market that don't have the money to pay for it. And I remember one of the things that a coach used to say to me, and I've hired many, many coaches. You know, and one of the things my coach used to say to me is, Carol, never ever go to a group of people that can't afford to pay for your products and services. And it makes so much sense. Because if they can't afford to pay, how are you going to even try and sell it? They won't be able to afford to buy it. So you've got to look at the group that's going to be more lucrative for you. So, you know, but the nutritionist has got a choice. You know, she can choose who she wants to sell it to and decide who is the best for her or him. So, you know, but the point that I'm trying to make is just look at what you've got, decide what you're going to do with it. One of the things that I help my clients to do is look at adding different arms as an entrepreneur to their business. So if they're selling one particular thing, let's just say that they're selling a service. Let's say they're selling, I don't know, let's say they're selling something like training. On an arm of training, they can also not, if they're selling training in terms of coaching, say they're coaching someone, they can also sell workshops. They can also sell courses, you know, and various other things that they can sell. If you've got an e-commerce store, from on the back of that, you can also sell training if you're selling products. So you can mix and match your services to benefit your ideal client, and you're getting multiple streams of income in from that one particular service that you're offering. I'm working with a couple of clients right now on doing this, where we're looking at the, you know, the service that she's selling, and we're looking at how we can bring in different arms and expanding out the business for growth. So, you know, and this is what content marketing allows you to do. So we're creating the content for these areas of what she wants to put out there. And it's amazing, you know, so look at what you've got and who are your ideal clients that are going to need what you have right now. So let's talk a little bit about social listening, because Google is the largest search engine in the world. Google actually owns YouTube, and Google speaks to all the social media platforms. If you go into Google and put in that you're searching for something particular, Google will actually show you how many other people have searched for that particular thing that you've searched for. And then Google feeds all that information to all the social media channels, so that when you come to do things like, say, paid ads, or you're putting content out there, the platforms already know what people want. And if you're active, remember the algorithm measures activity, the algorithm will then push people towards what it is that you do. And that's why sometimes on social media, people will find you without you even having to do anything. Because if you're active, they will find you because the algorithm does all the heavy lifting for you. The algorithm, directs people. I've had the algorithm direct people to groups that I had set up. And on the other side of that, I've been also directed to certain groups, like you'll get a message that will come up like on Facebook that will say something like, go and join that group because it's like the one that you're already in. That's the algorithm speaking to you. It's telling you to go and join a particular group because you're already in one that's similar. So why not join that one? So obviously there's a lot of activity going on in that group. So the algorithm is pushing people towards joining that group without the host of the group even doing any form of promotion of the group. So, and that's why I say, social listening is something that goes on all the time. People sometimes use keyword searches in order to find their ideal clients. Sometimes people will go to influencers. I've used an influencer before. I was selling something, and that particular influencer was very big in that area of that thing that I was selling. And I actually sent all of my products to her that I wanted to sell, and she was wearing them for people to ask her about them. So you can come up with an agreement with a social media influencer. It might be a financial agreement, or it might be an agreement that they can have the products that you've got to sell and they just promote on your behalf. And another thing that is quite hot, especially on places like LinkedIn and Twitter, are trending topics. Those are the kind of platforms where topics will trend. And when you post a piece of content and it's doing very well and it starts to trend, LinkedIn or Twitter will tell you it's trending. Trending means a lot of people have seen it and are interested in what you've said or posted. So, it's all about understanding how social media works. So, and another thing as well, I don't know if there's anyone on here that is planning on, or maybe you already have, I don't know, a website. When you have a website, what Google does, if you're active on social media and you're active in the Google search box, Google knows a lot about what you've been searching for. And when you have certain keywords that are linked to your website, Google will push those people that are looking for services similar to what you're offering, and Google will push them to your website. This is why sometimes random people find your website without even looking at it. It's because the algorithms push them there. So, you could be online. Let me give you another example of what I'm saying to be fact. Let's just say, and this happens to me all the time, it happened to me yesterday as well. You look at a particular website. Let's just say you've looked at a clothing website. And remember, all these websites have got cookies as well. So you look at a clothing website and you come off the website and then you go somewhere else on social media. What do you see? The cookies has made sure that what you were previously looking at now has showed up on the next platform that you're on, or wherever it is that you're on social media. And you're thinking, hang on a minute, didn't I look at that earlier on that particular website? And then what starts to happen? You start seeing other websites with the similar kind of thing that you were looking at previously. That's the algorithm working. So, you want the algorithm to work on your behalf. Hashtags, Rachel, are very important. On LinkedIn and on Twitter, they hashtag everything. When you hashtag, you're really hashtagging keywords. You're hashtagging what you think particular potential ideal clients will want to are talking about. So I'm in a group at the moment. I'm in several groups. I'm in a lot of groups on Facebook, and we post a lot of things on LinkedIn, and we put the hashtags in, and a lot of that group that I'm in, it's a small group of about just under 100 people. A lot of what gets posted gets trending. It trends. And, you know, there's several hashtags. We probably do about 10 to 15 different hashtags. And, you know, throughout the process of doing that, what happens is there's something that someone's, you know, talking about a lot, and the algorithm has picked it up in the hashtag, and then your post gets shown to a lot of people on LinkedIn, and people that are even outside of your connections as well. So, you know, it's important to make sure, and I cannot stress it enough, that you know who your ideal clients are, and you know the kind of content that you know they would want to see and that they would resonate with. Another thing that let me go back to this one before I move on. Another thing that some people like to do a lot of on LinkedIn, they like to listen to podcasts. I love listening to podcasts because I can listen to a podcast when I'm driving. You know, so people don't necessarily always have the time to sit and watch a video, but they will put the podcast on and listen. And I love that. I listen to a guy on YouTube who does his podcast, and he brings on all these great people to talk about health and all this. And I'm into all of that. And I absolutely love listening because I learn a lot. And because I've got such a long drive, it's a perfect way of me using my time to best effect, because I'm learning as well as, you know, doing what I'm doing. So it's important to think about, you know, what do your ideal clients want? Some people want to listen to a podcast. Some people want to listen to case studies. Some people want to see the person that you have worked with, that has gone through your programs, and they've done very well, and they've come out the other end getting some great results. Some people like to literally look at the person, listen to the person, and think, you know what, I'm going to hire that coach, or I'm going to hire that consultant, or whatever it is that you're offering. So some people love to hear and see. Some people love to just hear. Some people love to physically do. So if you're in the catering industry, people love watching videos of things that you create, you know, and when you show them how to create certain things, that is content that you're putting out there. This is why I love YouTube. The people on YouTube are what I call content creators, because there are some great things on YouTube that is very, very interesting. You know, and I'm on these platforms every day because I've got to keep up to date with everything that's going on. I need to know what's new. I need to know what's coming out. And so I make it my business to be on these platforms so that I know and I can update as I go along. So I've got a friend of mine who's, she's in the United States, and she's a teacher. She's a teacher. Now, she has got a hobby, and her hobby is all to do with being in the garden. She loves all the content that she puts out is all about, you know, how to plant flowers. She buys the bulbs, and she shows you how to put it in the soil and how deep to dig the soil, to how deep it's got to go down. She'll show you how much water needs to surround the bulb when you've just planted it. She'll show you the kind of soil it needs to go into. She'll talk about the soil and everything like this. Now, within year one of her starting this channel, she got 9,000 people watching her talking about planting flowers, 9,000 people. She's been going for just over 2 years. She's almost at 22,000 people. Now, this is all content that she's putting out there. She will do vlogs and she will show you that she's, she'll video, get someone to video her going to buy the particular products that she needs to be able to do all the planting and all of that. And she talks about it. It's a hobby that she does. But now it's become something more than a hobby, because when you get to 1,000 people that are subscribed to your YouTube channel and you have those people watching up to 4,000 watch hours, YouTube deems your content to be high quality. So what YouTube will do is put adverts under your content. So when you go on YouTube, you could be watching something and then all of a sudden an advert pops up. And some of these adverts, they have a countdown timer, so you can't click them off. You're bound to watch them. You're forced to watch them. And, that's YouTube rewarding the content creator for having great content that a lot of people are interested in. I know people that are making 6 figures off just creating content that they put up on YouTube and that people are watching. So YouTube sends them a check every single month just for the content creation that they've done, because obviously their content's very interesting. They've got tons of people following them. I mean, 21,500 people in 2 years is fairly good, don't you think? And that's from a school teacher who's just talking about bulbs and flowers and soil and planting and watering. I mean, I think that's amazing. So she's been able, to replace her income just from doing that. And another thing that she's done, her daughter creates hair products. So she's used part of those 21,000 people that have now gone over to join her daughter's channel. So her daughter has got in excess of 1,000 people now. So her daughter has been able to sell a lot of her hair products to part of the 21,000 that has been watching her, talking about bulbs and planting flowers and all sorts of things. So it's working a treat and she's using it to best effect. So, you've got to realize that putting the content out there, knowing that Google is watching everything, any platform that you're on, there is a lot of social listening going on. You've just got to know exactly what it is that you want to put out there that's going to attract your ideal clients. So let's have a look at the key messages. So, Tesco's message is every little helps. We've all heard it. And that message speaks directly to, the mom that's got a couple of kids, that's on a budget. And Tesco's is basically saying every little helps. And that's what, that parent wants to know. They want to know that their pound is going to stretch very far. Admittedly, from what we've seen now, the pound isn't stretching very far anymore, is it? But that still is Tesco's key message, that every little does help. Mercedes messages the best or nothing. I don't know if there's anybody here that owns a Mercedes car, but we know that Mercedes cars are good quality cars and they're very expensive to buy and expensive to maintain. So, their message, their key message to their buyers is the best or nothing. And that's a great message, because you're basically saying to them, listen, we're the best. So you don't need to do anything else. Just come to us because you're going to get the best and nothing but the best. That's why they say the best or nothing. So people resonate with that. You would be amazed to know what kind of messages people resonate with. I don't know if anybody remembers Mr. Kipling. Who remembers Mr. Kipling? And on the advert, they always used to say exceedingly good cakes. Do you remember that? Does anybody remember that at all? And, Mr. Kipling, and the cakes were beautiful cakes, lovely cakes. They had a lovely taste to them. They looked very pretty, and Mr. Kipling, I've not heard anything about Mr. Kipling for years. But you could resonate with the message, because when it said exceedingly good cakes, not only did it look good, it tasted good as well. So what will your key message be? And, you know, every entrepreneur should have a message that your ideal clients can resonate with, so that they can now become attached to your brand. You know, wherever they see that message, they'll know that you are, you know, that's your brand. So let's have a look at a couple of examples of messages. You know, so here's an example. So, you know, there's an organic skincare product company, and a possible message there could be clean living, body confidence, and integrity. I would have left it at clean living, to be honest, because that speaks to something that's to do with skincare. You know, recruitment agency, possible key message could be professional empowerment, you know, and that speaks to that. So you've got to speak directly to the heart of your customer with whatever it is that you're wanting to sell, so that you will be the first in mind when they are thinking of buying something. You know, how many times do you go out and you're out and about and you get a little bit hungry? What do you think of? If you're out and about and you get a bit hungry, what places do you think of going to eat at? Let me see what you all say. And I'll tell you what kind of places I think of when I want to go and eat something. You know, you're probably out and about feeling a little bit peckish. What place do you think, right, let me go and quickly grab a sandwich, or let me go and sit down and have a coffee or whatever? Where's your go-to places? Okay, so Cyan says Greg, Sarah says Greg's. Yeah, if Greg's is near, I will go to Greg's as well. But I think my go-to place, because I love to have a nice coffee, is Costa Coffee. You know, I'll go to Costa and sit and have a coffee. If I'm feeling a bit peckish, I'll still go to Costa because I like their bits and pieces. The only thing, they sell a lot of sweetie things. They sell savories as well, but a lot of I love their macaroni. They do like a nice vegan macaroni. So, but you're thinking, the point that I'm trying to make is, there is a place that you're thinking, well, let me quickly get there because that's where I need to go to. And, you know, it's because you resonate with that place. That's why that place appears as the first brand in your mind to go to. Two of you just says Greg's. And, you know, I automatically, if I'm around Greg's, if I've got to choose a place to go to, I would go to Greg's as well, because now they've started doing a nice, they do like a nice, they've got like a hot food section now, haven't they? Where you can have like nice wedges and Southern fried chicken and so on. So I'll get myself all hungry right now. So, you know, think about the message. That's the point I'm trying to make. You know, there's no point in putting straightening irons in front of men that don't have any hair. So if people are not resonating or responding to what you are doing, I can tell you right now, you are speaking to the wrong audience. And if you're not specifically targeting your audience, if you don't have your potential ideal clients following you and you try to put content out, who is going to look at it? If you only have 10 people following you or 50 people following you, who do you expect to look at your content? You need a few hundreds of people following you in order to get a response to your content. So, you know, and I can't make that clear enough. You know, the other day someone said to me, you know, she's putting a lot of things out on LinkedIn and no one's responding. And when we got down to the nitty gritty and looked at what she was putting out, it was completely the wrong thing to put out. That's why no one was responding. You know, so you've got to look at, are people going to resonate with your content, and how many people do you have following you? If you only have a handful, you're not going to get a lot of people responding. So think about what you're putting out and to whom. So let's have a look at your customer's journey, because every customer is on a journey. You are also on a journey. It could be that you're on a journey, you know, to buy a house, to buy a car, to go on holiday, to buy a new particular type of equipment or clothing. We're all on a buying journey. But the first thing that you've got to make sure happens is that your potential ideal clients become aware of your brand. They need to become aware. So when they become aware, then they will consider whether you're the right person to buy from or not. Again, it goes back to how well do you know them? Because if you know them really well, you'll have a great unique selling point that will resonate with them. And then you've got to look at, people's purchasing and buying habits, and you're looking at the service that people are going to experience from you. Now, there's a particular, nail shop that I go to. And when you go to this nail shop, they stamp your loyalty card. And I think you've got to go 20 times before you get £5 off. And it's like £40 a time. So 20 times 40, and then you get £5 off. So, and people look forward to having that stamp on the card. And this is a way of how the business keeps people coming back and keep people being loyal to the business. So maybe your business might benefit from having a loyalty, card process going on in it that will keep people back. It could be that you might offer them a discount on the next time they come back, or you get them to keep coming and then tell them on the 10th or 15th or 20th time they're going to get a discount. So you've got to think about the journey that your clients are on. That will depend on how they respond to your content. Your service has got to be impeccable. The experience has got to be absolutely great that you're going to offer. And you've heard it says where 20% of your customers will give you 80% of your business. So think about that, 20% of your customers. So the small amount of customers is going to give you more of your business. Why? Because they keep coming back. They keep coming back. Because if you can keep serving them, they will keep coming back. So, you've just got to make sure that what they want, you're able to offer that. So let's have a look a little bit about developing your brand persona. You're probably familiar with a couple of brands here. I can see Marmite and I can see Topshop. Maybe you've heard of those. And normally when you're content marketing, you don't need to put a lot of things out there in terms of wordy things. You just want to make sure that you're memorable. So let's have a look at brand positioning. So this is an example of a company called Gray's Cookies. And Gray's Cookies sells cookies, obviously. So they have got a statement that says guilt-free pleasure with Gray's Cookies. Now, I don't know, for some people, they might probably think that if something is going to make them feel guiltless, they're more likely to buy. So that's a temptation when you see guilt-free pleasure with Gray's Cookies, because Gray's, I don't know of the brand called Gray's. This is just an example. But you might be familiar with a particular brand and see a statement and you've bought into that statement, and you're quite happy to buy. And this is why, when I ask, where's your go-to place when you're hungry and you're out and about, 2 people said Greg's. And that also is my go-to place if I'm around that area as well. There's other coffee shops around, but Greg's is the one that stands out because of their branding, because of the content that you see out there about them all the time. They are the ones that come to mind straight away. So what are the beneficiary factors of, having a key message? Well, your message should be the same wherever you go. Wherever people see you on the platforms, your message should always be the same. There's an old saying that says features tells and benefit sells. It's the benefit that you're selling all the time. You sell, you speak to the people in what they want regarding the benefits. It's the benefits. Remember, it's not the struggle that they're going through or that they're experiencing. It's the benefits that you're going to speak to when you are putting content, whatever that content is. It could be, like I said earlier, it could be a 15-minute video broken up into 3 5-minute videos. It could be an email campaign that you're running and you're putting lots of content in their inbox. It could be a challenge, that you're taking them through, so it could be different things. But remember, it's the benefits, that's what they want. That's what people buy into. They buy into the solutions. So here's a little bit about, writing stories. And I've spent quite a lot on stories. When you're talking about writing story as a piece of content, keep it factual. Don't tell them from when you were a baby right till you got to the ripe old age of whatever that is. Keep the story factual and short, because people will get it. And that story needs to take them on a journey. It's a bit like when people are speaking. Speakers always talk about where they were, the journey they went through, and why they are at the place right now, why they are speaking to you. The same as authors. If you're going to write a book, that book should be able to bring a solution to whatever someone's got in terms of a problem or an issue. That you should pick that book up and be able to read it, especially if it's a book from someone who helps you to solve problems. That book should be a book that is going to bring a solution to whatever the issue is that you've got. So your story is very important. And this is why people love to read. And, don't think for 1 minute that people don't like to read. There are millions of people out there that loves reading. On LinkedIn, you will find a lot of them. That's why there's lots of articles and people share long things on LinkedIn, but the people on LinkedIn are very different to the people on Facebook. The people on Facebook, they like a lot of humor. They like things that are quick, short, sharp, and speedy. Whereas on LinkedIn, they've got a bit more patience. They're into discussions. They're into listening to things. They're into reading things. It's a very different kind of approach, but your story is something that you can use to leverage what you have got to sell. So let's have a look at the platforms. So the kind of content formats, I should say. So there's lots of things that you can do on YouTube. A lot of people create content that shows you how to do something, how to. And, I've got a client. Not too long ago, I was talking to a client, and she helps organizations how to reduce the carbon emissions in their business. It's all to do with sustainability, what she does. And she learned a lot of what she does with these clients. She learned a lot of it from Google searches and YouTube. Her first contract that she did was for £32,000. And her clients came from LinkedIn. So that's the power of the platform. And that's the power of social media. So, and there's lots of people out there that are learning from the how-tos. For me, the how-tos have gaps, because when you've learned how to do something and you want to ask another question, who do you go and ask it to? And this is why you have people that can plug those gaps by offering specific kind of services. and content that surrounds those kind of services. So, you know, look at what you're actually creating and who you believe will resonate with what it is that you're creating. But how-tos are very popular on YouTube. Case studies and content curation, I would say, are popular on maybe Facebook, you know, and podcasts and articles and things like that, and ebooks, you know, are very popular on places like LinkedIn. Newsletter, you'd normally get someone to sign up to a newsletter, but honestly, I'd strongly advise that you don't ask anybody to sign up to a newsletter. Ask them to sign up to something that's better than a newsletter, and something that's going to help them to get a quick win, something that's going to give them a mindset shift. It's going to change the way they feel about something emotionally, rather than just a newsletter. Another type of popular content is one-to-ones. If you've got a business that lends itself to one-to-ones or vlogs, then that's a great thing to do. A lot of the people on YouTube do vlogs as form of content creation. You know, you can do live streams. If your business lends itself to a live stream, that's a great thing to do. I remember when a coach said to me that I needed to go and live stream for 30 days. And I absolutely, it was so scary because I'd never live streamed before. And one of the things that I did to get my confidence up in live streaming was I used to practice on my mobile phone. And I would do like, you know, you can video yourself on your mobile phone and then you can go back and watch it. And another thing that I used to do, I used to create dummy pages on Facebook, and I used to live stream directly into Facebook on the dummy page that no one ever knew existed. And I used to practice that way as well until I built up the confidence to go live one day. When I went live one day, it was the most scariest thing because I realized that it felt like everybody in the world was watching me, but they weren't. It was just all in my head. You know, but it's a great way of, when people see you on a live stream, people get to know you, like you, and trust you much faster on a live stream video than they do if you're just putting out static content. And I've proven that so many times over, because Facebook will send you the stats in the back end of your business page, and you can see how many people have looked at the live stream, how long they stayed on it for, and so on. So here's some popular content, you know, that people tend to use quite a lot. People tend to go for the how-to posts. If you're into catering, a how-to is very, you know, desirable. You can do lots of different videos. There's a lady on Facebook. She doesn't show her face. You only see her hands being videoed, creating beautiful dishes on a budget. And she gets up to 2 and 3 million views, you know, people watching her content, because Facebook also pays you for content that people are watching a lot of. So, and they pay you very well as well, apparently. So, and I know someone who's getting paid very, very well. I think it's something like £20,000 a month from Facebook for the amount of content, but you've got to have thousands of people following you before Facebook will consider you desirable to put ads under your content. So this is just some more information on the different types of content that you can put out there. You know, if you put content out that's telling your story, keep it as professional as possible, you know, and don't mention anyone's names. Make it become all about you, and, you know, you don't bring, if you've had, you know, some people have had really hard lives and they want to share their story, and if your target audience are people who have gone through certain struggles and now they're, you know, you're going to be the expert to help them to overcome, you know, keep everything that you talk about very professional in your content creation. That's a very important thing to note. So these are just some of the different types of platforms that people use to distribute their content. Some people use their website. You know, some people will use Facebook, social media, YouTube. You know, it just depends on where your ideal clients are. So get to find out where are your ideal clients and how you can reach them. If your ideal clients are all on Facebook and you absolutely hate the platform, then remember your business isn't about you, it's about who you're serving. So you'll just have to remove yourself out of the way and put your business in front and just realize that it's all about the people that you're serving. You know, a lot of people have said to me over the last few weeks, I absolutely hate Facebook. I don't like Facebook. You know, but if that's where your clients are, that's where you need to be. So, you know, like I said, it's about the clients. So here's a table, a periodic table of content marketing. And I absolutely love this table because this table will help you to identify what kind of things you can actually do in terms of content strategies. You know, you can put out articles on LinkedIn. You can do live videos. There's something, there's a piece of software called StreamYard. I used to use StreamYard quite a lot. And with StreamYard, it's a software that you plug in and you can actually, you go into the studio, you're in a studio, and once you connect it to your computer, you enter the StreamYard studio and you can tell StreamYard that you want to stream your content into Facebook, into LinkedIn, and into YouTube all at the same time. So if you have got followers on these three platforms, you can give them a time when you're going to be on and you're streaming directly into all three platforms at the same time. It's amazing. They're called StreamYard. So Rachel's saying, will you share this after the session? We end at 1 p.m, Rachel, and once we end, that's it. So I won't be sharing anything else once I'm done here today, but you will be getting a copy of these slides and you will be getting a copy of this webinar. So you'll be able to see it, you know, later on. Okay, yeah. So look at the different types of strategic approaches that you want to have when you're posting content. It could be that you're planning on creating an event and you want people to know about the event, you know, or maybe you want to do some e-learning if you're into education. You know, you might decide that you want to do some how-to videos and start creating a YouTube channel. And your YouTube channel doesn't even have to be about your business. It can be about your hobby. Some people have got like a decorating hobby or an upholstery hobby, and you're showing people how to do things. It's amazing. And, you know, you could get paid for sharing your content with people. You've just got to get creative. So you can use this periodic table to be able to know what you're going to put out there in terms of content marketing. And, you know, you should never be short of content. When you know your ideal clients, you will never be short of content. And you can also you know, recycle your content on different platforms. You can go to Canva. Canva.com has a lot of free templates, and you can they have free templates for different social media platforms, and you can recycle your content on the different platforms. So you don't need to keep writing the same thing over and over again. Thank you, Sue Ellen, for being here. You're very welcome. Thank you so much. You'll get a copy of the slides and the webinar as well. Right, you will get a copy of the slides and the webinar. So I'm not quite sure what else they send to you because it doesn't directly come from me. So Again, this is a way of you formatting what you can actually put out there in terms of messaging. And this is a way of how you can plan it for yourself as well. You know, you can talk about, you can put down what your format's going to be, your content platform, and so on. So here's the summary of what we have spoken about in terms of content marketing. This is just summarizing everything that I've delivered this morning. This is what we have actually covered, and you'll have an opportunity to go over this again for yourselves so that if there's anything that you've missed, you can always go over and listen to this again. Things that you want to get to specifically, just fast forward me and, get to the point as to where you want to pick up on the video itself. Here are some useful links that I think will benefit you. Remember that you will all be getting a copy of this particular webinar. You will get all the slides and everything that I've delivered about today. So don't worry, this will come out to you sometime next week, probably the back end of next week. You'll get this and you'll be able to go over this again. So Rachel's saying this has been really helpful, lots to think about and act on. Thank you for your time. Well, thank you for investing your time into being here today, Rachel. I appreciate you being here. And these are some links of other resources that you can actually, you can actually get these resources. So do go and have a look at these links, because some of these links, we've put them on here specifically for you to be able to click on them, or you can just cut and paste and put them into the browser. And that will be very, very helpful for you going forward. So Becky's saying this was so helpful and thank you for all you've shared. You're so welcome, Becky. And Sam saying, yes, thank you, very helpful. And if you would like to book an appointment with me for me to do a deep dive into your business, then reach out to info@wenta.co.uk. And you will see right there where, you will get an appointment from the business advisory team, and you'll be able to then, I'll be able to then go through with you as to what we need to do to help and support you in your business. So, the details will come up shortly and you'll be able to see where we are. You're welcome, Dima. So make a note of this, because this is where you can reach out to us, info@wenta.co.uk, or you can contact us on 01438 3100 20. And don't forget to go to our wenta.co.uk website. And right there on that website, you will see on the menu bar, Net Zero, My Business. Click on that, sign and reach out to us at info@wenta.co.uk so that you can get signed up for your free subscription, which is the bronze level. Bronze is completely free. That's our gift to you. And I think that would be very beneficial to you. Because once people see that you've got a net zero strategy going on in your business, that draws people who are into, saving the planet and having a net zero strategy that they want to get involved with. So Dima says, are there any first steps you recommend to do to get initial following for your content, or you just start producing content, and growing the following from zero up organically. It's a good idea that you can, first of all, I think the first thing that you need to do is to get the right people following you. So you can invite the people that you want to potentially be your ideal clients, get them following you. On LinkedIn, you can get them to connect with you. On Facebook, you can physically target them. So you can send them a friend's message and ask them to follow you. Ask them to become friends with you. They will either accept or decline, but only target your ideal clients. If you have a page that is only full of your friends and family, they are not the people that are going to buy from you. I'll tell you that now. So you either need to, decide if you want to keep them on your page or add new people to your page. Your page should be growing all the time. And you're supposed to be just adding people. But the process that I would say for content marketing, Dima, would be to get the right people on your page and start posting the quality content that speaks to what they want to achieve. So speak to that. When you speak to what they want to achieve, they will resonate with the message. But if you've not got the right people on the page, what will happen is they will see your post and they will just come off and go somewhere else. So they won't respond. You want people that can respond, that will comment, share, like, and so on. And when you post as well, it's a good idea to, sometimes on your post, you're going to need to give people a call to action. So if you, let's just say you posted your story, what you could say to someone is, if you resonate with this, then feel free to reach out to me and send me a direct message in my inbox. So you're giving them a call to action. Or if you've wrote about your story and the last part of your story talks about what you're doing now, as an entrepreneur, you could ask them to, if they're, interested in booking an appointment with you, they can contact you and you can say to them, contact me in my inbox, or, join my Facebook group if you have one, or join my page here. And, and you tell them where to go. So that's a call to action. So, it's just important that, and that's how you build the content and create the right kind of content for your ideal clients. As they keep coming on the page, they will see the content. Some people are silent. They're silent watchers. They will watch you for a long time and they're checking out to see if you're the expert in your area before they even comment or before they even do anything. And then you'll get the other ones with the twitchy fingers that love to comment, like, and share anyway. So you'll get a mixed bunch, but it's better to grow the page first and your following and start putting the right content out there for them. I hope that helps. So I want to take this opportunity to say thank you very much for investing this time in yourself. Thank you so much for being here. We do lots of other trainings at Wenta. Do feel free to sign up to any other training that you will see on our Wenta website. And remember to go to go to Net Zero on the wenta.co.uk website and sign up for your bronze level subscription. You'll need to reach out to us at info@wenta.co.uk and tell them that you're interested in signing up for bronze. It's completely free. I hope this has been beneficial for you today, and I hope that there is something here that I've said today that you can take away and apply to your business straight away. If you do want to book an appointment with me, then reach out to us on our email address at info@wenta.co.uk, and I hope to see you soon. Have a great week, and again, thank you. Take care, and bye-bye.